Today, we'd like to show you 3 tips for improving your squat. These are simple tips that will go a long way to help you perfect your squat form. I'm Kori, personal trainer here at Bennett Fitness.
And I'm Brad Boggs, I'm the owner of Bennett Fitness. I'm also a personal trainer. Here at Bennett Fitness, we are all about helping you on your fitness journey, help educating you on how to exercise correctly. We also have nutritional tip videos. We also have workout tip videos, not workout tip videos, but workout classes. Yes. All right, I'm excited to hear these tips. I think I know them. Let's jump right into it.
So we all know that a squat is super important to add to your weightlifting routine, but it's also very important for everyday movement. We sit down and we stand up like 100+ times a day. And if you're not doing it properly, you're probably feeling some pain in your back or your knees. So we're just gonna also, not just weightlifting for squat, but we're gonna just show you how to squat properly in general. So for a beginner squat, I like to use a box to help teach the proper pattern.
Tip number 1.
Tip 1, use a box. It helps you sit back into the proper form. So I'm gonna have Brad straddle this box at the corner. So I wanna make sure his feet aren't totally up against the side, because if you do, he'll end up just sitting straight up and down, which people tend to do improperly. So if you come forward, it makes you sit back into the box. So Brad is going to straddle the box. He just wants to get into a comfortable hip width distance stance. You don't have to go really wide with your toes out. You don't have to go really narrow, toes perfectly forward. Whatever feels comfortable for you, because that's what you're gonna do on a regular basis. So in this position, I'm going to have Brad just sit back into the box and stay there. So Brad, let's sit back into the box and stay there. But this time, I'm gonna have Brad, I didn't cue him very well, sit back without relaxing tension. So notice he just kind of went sat back and do whatever. So we're gonna sit back into the box with the slight forward lean, with his butt on the box. So lean slight forward. So notice he has this nice forward lean. His knees stay slightly out. His arms are reaching out for counterbalance, and then he goes up and stands. Okay, let's do just 2 more of those, nice and controlled. Pause and stand. So he's not unloading all the tension, he's just tapping his box. Sit back and stand. So I'm gonna turn this.
Tapping my butt. You said tapping my box.
He's tapping the box with his butt.
Yes.
So I'm gonna turn this slightly sideways so you can also see what I mean by that. So Brad, let's turn it sideways a little bit. So you're gonna do the same thing, but this time I want your feet right up against it, and I want you to pretend like you're not sitting back and just sit straight down with your knees forward. No, you did a perfect squat. Knees forward, go straight down. Yeah, so see how he did that? That's what people will tend to do if they don't know how to squat. So let's move your feet forward, and he actually has to sit back into the box. Don't unload tension. Good, and stand. Perfect, so once people get that down, then we take the box away. Pretend I took the box away. And Brad, let's just do a couple more, just to show air squats without a box. Perfect, and up, and 1 more. So before we add weight though, I'm gonna show you tip 2, what tends to happen if they're squatting. You notice how he did his at the box, forward, knees forward, heels off the ground. I'm gonna elevate Brad's heels. So if he squats, let's turn and show that in proper form without the box, Brad.
Without the box?
Yep, coming those heels off the ground and back up. He does squats well, so it's hard to do it improperly. So do 1 more, Brad, and let those heels come up. Good. So some people, they don't have the hip mobility or the ankle mobility, so their heels come off the ground because they don't have enough room for their ankles to move forward. So I'm gonna grab something, just hold on for a second.
You just leave me here on camera, just hanging out.
He likes to be on camera alone. So we'll lift your heels. If you don't have good ankle mobility and all your weight comes to those toes when you squat, we're gonna lift his heels. So Brad, now I do want you to face that way, perfect. So your heels are lifted. It gives you more leverage with your ankles to sit deep into a squat. So Brad, I want you to go all the way down at the bottom and pause for a second. He actually got a little bit lower. I mean, almost anybody can get lower in that. So, and again, go down, good, and stand right back up. So that really helps if you have ankle mobility or issues, or you can't quite squat as low. So you can step away from that, Brad. The 3rd tip that you can use, I use my 3s and my 2s and my 1s, is some people squat and they have a tendency to have their knees cave in. If you feel like you have knee pain when you squat, sometimes it's because you're not rotating through your hips, using your glutes, and your knees just dump right in. Brad, you wanna show one of those? Show the knee cave squat. Yes, he's silly about that.
I have to think about it.
Yeah, or sometimes people, they squat and their knees just kind of come in, and that's really excessive, or they squat and then their knees come in as they press up. So to add a little bit of a resistance or just a reminder to keep those knees out, we like to put bands around people's knees. It's not just to turn on your butt more. So Brad is going to put a band around his knees. I'm just gonna move this box out of the picture a little bit more. Right above your knees, I'm sorry. If you tend to wear shorts, this can be a little uncomfortable. So this band forces your knees to cave in, so you have to actively resist the band. So Brad is going to screw his feet into the ground. It also helps if you don't have a band, thinking about just spreading the floor apart. He's gonna sit back and pause, and then stand. It really forces those knees to come out so you don't cave in. Okay, Brad, give me another one. Good, and stand. Perfect. So that's tip 3 for doing, to help improve your squat. But now we're just gonna show you the basic goblet squat to finish up. So if you've perfected, your knees aren't caving in too much, your ankles aren't lifting, or even if these are a tendency, you can still add weight with the modifications. So Brad, let's take off the band. Let's just show a basic goblet squat. So in a goblet squat, this is where you hold weight, so we're gonna add load to his squat. His form is good. So when you, excuse me, I don't know what that was. When you hold it, you want your elbows to go straight down. You wanna actively kind of push the weight together, puffing up your chest. So he has good activation through his lats. He's gonna sit back like he's sitting into a box. Pause, and as he stands up, he's gonna think about pushing the floor apart and stand. Good, do another one, nice and slow. At the bottom, you're gonna push the floor apart and stand. Another thing to think about is your core. So you're gonna take a big deep breath in, brace your torso before you go down, like I'm gonna punch him in the gut, which I won't, and then stand. Let's do 2 more. Big deep breath in, brace, push the floor apart, and stand. Perfect. So that and 3 for good measure. We have 3 tips.
That was 2. That was 2.
Oh, I can't count. My clients will tell me that sometimes, that I can't count. So hopefully you took away some tips. So if your heels come off the ground, raise them, give support with an elevated. If your knees are caving in or you feel just lots of instability with your knee, put a band around it. Use a box.
Or do both. Do both. You can add all of these together. I do that often with clients. Their heels come off the ground, their knees cave in. An easy way, like Kori said, to clean all that up really quickly is just put small plates. You don't need a huge raise in that heel to help clean that up. I mean, these plates are pretty small, about 1/2 inch, but you can combine all 3 of these and it will really clean up, and work on that for a while. Don't just do it one time you do your squats or another time. You should do that, you know, for a couple weeks.
Until you find yourself not doing that. Don't just
Exactly.
add load. Don't just be like, okay, this is gonna help, and then add load. Make sure you can do it well before adding weight.
Exactly, exactly. Or heavy weight, that is. A lot of people want to rush right to the bar and start back squatting, and it looks awful. Again, let's start a little bit earlier in the process with less weight, cleaning up, making sure you have good form, because then as you build, you're building on top of good habits.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us today. If this video helped you out, like it, push that little like button. Maybe leave some comments below if you have any questions or comments. We love to hear from you. Check out our other videos. We have squats in a lot of our workout videos, so maybe you can be thinking about that as you're doing your squats. And we look forward to seeing you next time.